I should say before we begin this video that I am not a lender professional. I am a real estate agent and my job is to help find people homes. So what I'm going to explain in this video today is based on my own experience and based on what I know. So don't take this as financial advice. If you have any more questions, I definitely suggest you talk to a lender about your options, about what's best for you and your specific situation. So with that said, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is which one to go first, because depending on the agent, they might tell you one thing or the other. When you're starting and you want to get a house, the first thing that you have to do as a consumer, and if you're an agent, the first thing that you need to tell your clients, get in touch with a lender so that they can talk about their financial situation and figure out how much their purchasing power is. So in order to do that, you have like three different options. The first one is the pre-qualification, and what that means is just a conversation that you have with the lender as a consumer or the client to explain to the lender what your financial situation is, your income, your debt, your assets, and just giving them a general idea of where you stand. And based on that information, the lender is going to give that person or people, if there's more than one party, a ballpark figure stating how much approximately that person might be able to qualify for if they were to apply for a full mortgage. And the pre-qualification is just a preliminary figure. Like, this is nothing very serious. The lender has not verified any of the information that you've provided them, so it's just an estimate, so take it with a grain of salt. Personally, as an agent, I wouldn't recommend my clients go shopping with just a pre-qualification letter, because it's too general. And given the market that we're in right now, which is a seller's market, a pre-qualification letter in the eyes of a seller is not going to look that strong, and it's going to make my buyers look like they're not serious enough to get pre-approved and obtain the DU, which we're going to cover next. The pre-approval, you can think of it as like the second step, and this is a more formal process because the client or your buyer will need to go online or in person to the bank or financial entity and fill out a mortgage application with information about income, debts, assets, and all of that information. And based on that, they're going to submit all that information to the lender. Then the lender is going to review all of that and then ask for additional documentation to back up those claims. So they're going to ask for things like W-2s, they're going to ask for bank statements, employment verification, credit scores, and things like that. And the lender is going to review the information that was submitted and is going to produce a pre-approval letter for the client. And with that pre-approval letter, that will state an exact amount of how much the person is qualified to get. And with that letter, you bring it to your agent and you tell your agent, hey, this is how much I can qualify for. So with that, the agent says, okay, perfect. Now we know how much we're working with, and then you can talk with them about, home, type of home, bedrooms, bathrooms, amenities, and things like that, because you will have a number, a figure that you can work with so you can go house hunting. I should also mention that the pre-approval requires a credit to be run, so it's gonna impact your credit a little bit, maybe drop it by a few points, but it's gonna definitely tell the sellers that you are a serious motivated buyer and that you have taken steps towards your mortgage approval. And also, the letter is usually good for 60 to 90 days. So if you're going house hunting for a long time, past the 90 days, then you have to go back to your lender and ask them to run it again, because situations change, financial changes, and you want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information. So that is a pre-approval letter. If you have that, there's a really good chance that you might be able to get a home once you submit an offer. But in a competitive market like the one we are in right now, that might not be enough, because what's happening in the market is that there's multiple offers on a house and people are coming with all cash offers. So the more you can provide to the seller and show them that you are motivated, willing, and able buyer ready to take action, the better. And that's gonna take us to the next step, which is the DU. The DU stands for desktop underwriting. Not every agent will know about this, but it's good to work with somebody who's familiar with the DU and knows the weight that it carries when you submit an offer. The DU, as I said, stands for desktop underwriting, and it's just a fancy word for an automated system that the lender has that will run your application through and it will automatically spit out a result, whether you're approved or declined for a certain amount. And it's going to be a very long document, usually multiple pages long, and this DU includes all your financial picture. So it will give the seller a pretty solid idea of where you stand financially, and if you are not only qualified, but what else is going on with your life, in terms of debt, in terms of assets, in terms of income, employment, FICO scores. It's going to have a very, very detailed breakdown. It will also include debt to income ratio, and all of that information is going to give the seller a pretty good understanding of where you are and what will happen after they accept your offer. So given that it's 2021 and we're in a very highly competitive seller's market, if your agent hasn't told you about the DU, if you don't have that yet, I will highly suggest you do that. Go get a chat with your agent and tell them that you would like to submit also your DU along with the purchase agreement and the proof of funds, because that is going to give you an edge over the competition. So I hope you guys found the information in this video helpful, and if you like it, please don't forget to give it a like, comment and subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss a new video. If you like this type of videos, I'm thinking about doing them once or twice a month, where I'll pick 3 to 5 words that I think are important for, you know, basic real estate vocabulary, and I'll share them with you guys and what it means. So if you liked it, don't forget again, give it a like, it helps me very much. So if you have questions or want to talk to me about these things, you can reach out to me on social media, or also send me an email at properties@boyos.com, and then I'll be happy to share with you more information about the pre-approval, the DU, the pre-qualification. I can also connect you to my preferred lender. And if you are thinking about purchasing or buying real estate, don't forget that I'm here for you, even if it's just, you know, a 10 to 20 minute conversation. I'll be happy to share whatever I know, and I'll try my best to help you or figure out somebody who can help you. Alright, so that is it for this one, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye now.